objective will be to gain sponsor for the presentation or Q&A spot. Usually, in this occasion, you will negotiate power delegates. For example, like in your blog, there are 4 power delegates. You will negotiate that, you will determine who will be the 2 sponsors and who will be the presenters, for example. For amendments, basically, during amendments, most likely people are confused with the procedure of the amendments. So make sure that you understand the procedure, and you should be the one who initiate amendment. You should gather all the amendments and be the one to submit it. Nah, yang the last will be outside conference. Somehow, I found that this type of negotiation itu berguna banget, misalnya during lunch or social nights. Misalnya mungkin kalau kalian kayak you need someone untuk memenuhi misalnya minimum signatories, you can use social nights or also during also lunchtime to negotiate with them. Biasanya sih kayak nggak langsung yang jadi sponsor dong, paling kayak basa-basi dulu. Soalnya it happened to my friend when it was in social night, mereka cuma ngobrol-ngobrol bareng pas social night. Besoknya si cowok-cowok ini langsung kerja sama temen gue, kayak gitu. So somehow negotiation outside the conference will work in some occasion. So there are several types of negotiator. You need to know which one is you. So you need to know which one that suits you the most. First one is power negotiator. So basically, this power negotiator will focus on handling other power delegates, and he or she will try to defend their blog or their resolution or working papers, and try to do rebuttals to every other power delegates. And yeah, as you know that this is a power negotiator, so yeah, he or she will be the leader of the blog. However, at the same time, there's also a soft negotiator that he or she can lead the blog, but with calm vibes. Jadi biasanya mereka lebih kayak ke personal approach, one-on-one negotiation. Jadi kayak mereka nggak yang kelihatan galak, serem, tapi mereka yang lead the blog, but with calm vibes. The third one will be about versatile negotiator. Biasanya it depends on the situation. Misalnya kayak dia bisa jadi the power negotiator, tapi he or she also can be the soft negotiator, depends on the occasion. Okay, this is a formula that you can use how to be that power delegate during the unmoderated caucus. First one, be accommodative and assertive. Yang pertama, itu bisa kayak gimana? The first one you can do is set an agenda. Every time you will do discussion, probably you should tell what will be your agenda during this discussion. Misalnya, kayak you said, okay, delegates, in this unmoderated caucus, we think that we should discuss about 3 things, and then you say first one, second, third. Afterwards, you should be the leader of the discussion. You should lead the discussion like a moderator. But somehow you should be the one who give everyone equal time to speak. You should be that accommodative. So like, okay, this delegate of Russia, what do you think? Afterwards, delegate of USA, what do you think? Saya kayak gitu. Nah, in terms of working paper and draft resolution making, probably you should do is to divide the work and set the time limit so that kita nggak bakal mepet-mepet the deadline. So for example, like, okay, I will work for the preambulatory clause. Probably delegate of Afghanistan and also delegate of Syria can work together to make the second section. I kind of like that. Second, after you have the accommodative and assertive vibes, you should write on your notes. What things that you should write. First one is about your points and other delegates' points, so that you will know what you want to speak and what other delegates want. Also, you can list their solutions and help them to improve. Tapi kalau aku, kadang-kadang aku tuh kalau misalnya di GSL, aku udah tulis, oh ini mereka yang kira-kira sama stance kayak aku, yang solutionnya mirip kayak aku. Jadi pas nanti di unmoderated caucus, nanti kalau di unmoderated caucus, aku bisa approach mereka dan bisa nanya lebih lanjut tentang mereka. But tetap juga kalau misalnya nanti udah di discussion in a circle, you should list their solutions again and help them to improve. Third, say yeah, I see, and then or any similar wordings and not. Biasanya kalau misalnya untuk delegate yang floating or not that type of power delegates, ketika kalian bilang yeah, I see and not, they will feel like, oh my god, this person really respects me. 4, don't respond that noisy delegate. So in certain situation, we found that it's hard for us to reject them. Kalau aku, mungkin what I will try to do is pair them with another noisy delegate. Misalnya kayak di dalam satu circle, pasti ada beberapa orang. Nah, misalnya ada beberapa orang itu, mungkin ada juga yang agak berisik, tapi dia berisiknya nggak yang tujuan untuk ngerecokin blognya. Mungkin I will try to pair this guy or this girl with the noisy one. Or you can be strategic with co-leader. Misalnya you are the leader and you have another co-leader. What you can do is you can say, you can make a strategy with your co-leader. For example, like, I think I should be the one who yang jagain blog. You can talk with another delegate atau sebaliknya. Tapi depends on the situation. Last but not least, every time you finish unmoderated caucus, you should conclude. That is why that is why kalau misalnya sementara discussion, it will be best if you write their solutions and also write every points that you think that it is important. Afterwards, you can conclude. Oke. Sampai sini ada yang mau ditanya nggak? Anyone? Kalau nggak ada, lanjut.
Terus, Kak.
Oke. Itu siapa sih? Oke. So, plan your negotiation. Jadi, interest. Kalian harus tahu what do you want, sama what does the other party want. Another side note will be, floating and power delegates have different interests. Misalnya, floating delegates, they only want to be included inside a block, or they want to be hear their solution wants to be put inside the draft resolution, somehow, kind of like that. But the power delegates, probably they want to be the leader, they want to be strong, or they want to lead you. Yeah, kind of like. Another thing that you should plan your negotiation, it's you need to know your bottom line. So for example, like so in terms of bottom line, you have to make sure that you have several plan towards your solutions and also your allies. This is kind of tips and trick, but during preparation, I think it will be best for you if you remember your solution with 5W plus 1H format, because like my coaches always set me to remember the solution with this format, so that when you want to explain to people, nanti orang-orang gak bakal nanya kayak solusinya gimana, solusinya tuh apa, siapa, tapi udah cukup komprehensif. Atau mungkin gak harus necessarily 5W1H, but you need to remember the points that you want to discuss. Nah, terus during discussion, note down each country's interest in moderated caucus and approach them in unmoderated caucus. Also, you can send notes. Nah, makanya kayak what I've previously mentioned before, biasanya kalau aku pas GSL, aku tuh selalu nulis poin GSL itu apa, biar aku tahu, oh ini dia solusinya mirip, solusinya deket-deketan, atau country stance kita sama. Baru kita send notes, nanti biar pas unmoderated caucus, kita lebih gampang approach mereka. Nah, in terms of communication, the basic thing that we will use pasti face-to-face. Tapi kan MUN tuh 2, 3, sampai 4 hari. Nah, nggak mungkin kita face-to-face mulu. To prevent from any things that we don't want to happen, misalnya backstabbing kayak apapun itu, you need to use call, chat, you need to make group chat that consists of your blogs, and so on and so forth. Oke. Sampai situ. Nah, biasanya negotiation for sponsors, apalagi kalau isinya yang power delegates, itu agak susah. Nah, what you need to do, first one, as you need to know the situation. Misalnya, kalau misalnya situationnya kayak, wow, there are many power delegates inside this block. So, berarti di sini kayak ngerasa, aduh, my position is not really secure. Kalian harus tahu mau ngapain. Tapi kalau misalnya kayak di blok ini nggak semuanya aktif dan kayak kayak beberapa orang cuma sampai you ngerasa oh bisa nih aku yang jadi sponsor. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to start how would you vote that sponsor, misalnya based on contribution, misalnya based on contribution, kayak siapa yang get their people, siapa yang lead somehow. So like I have several options to do negotiation for sponsor. First one, voting. Second, clause or word contribution. Clause or word contribution, misalnya seberapa banyak sih dia ngedrafting. Terus yang ketiga, contribution, misalnya who gathers the people, who negotiate with yang ini. Atau yang keempat, misalnya impacts and influence. Nah, tapi I have another tips. I have another note that voting, it is use this when it's towards your advantage. Jadi maksudnya kayak pakai voting ketika kalian tahu voting itu akan menguntungkan kalian. Misalnya kayak kalian posisinya nggak lagi aman, tapi kalian pakai voting. Bisa jadi kan orang-orang nggak vote kalian buat jadi the sponsors. Nah, jadi pakai voting ketika, oh udah nih, ini pasti aku yang dapat. Nah, terus how to be chosen. Nah, misalnya ask other to pick you. How ask other to pick you tuh gimana sih? Mungkin what you can do is you can like kind of backroom negotiation with any other delegates that yang potentially will pick you. Atau mungkin kalian juga bisa nanya-nanya misalnya ke voting delegates, kalian kira-kira siapa sih yang bisa? Ini my personal experience ya. Kira-kira kalian siapa sih yang bisa jadi sponsor? Ketika mereka feel that you are the leader, somehow they will say that, oh, Yuda kayaknya delegate of ini sama delegate of itu. Atau enggak, kamu sama delegate of itu. Nah, another thing that you can do is confront to the other delegates. Tapi ini in a proper and diplomatic way. Misalnya, kayak gak proper kan kalau kita bilang, delegate, delegates, due to time constraint, I think I should be the sponsor since I'm the leader. Kayaknya nggak kayak gitu banget. Mungkin what you can do is first you set the parameter kan, misalnya kayak parameternya based on contribution, siapa yang gather the people, siapa yang lead. Jadi mungkin kalian bisa bilang delegates, seeing that we have limited time in order to choose the sponsors, I think I should be the sponsor because of several reasons. First, I was the one who gathered this blog. I was the one who lead the blog, kayak gitu-gitu. Jadi kayak ada beberapa alasan yang kuat yang bisa justify why you deserve this position. Nah, sampai situ. Terus, there are difference between sponsors and also presenter. Kadang, misalnya, sponsors boleh 2, tapi misalnya presenter cuma 1, atau enggak, sponsor boleh 4, tapi presenter cuma 2. Nah, kan kalau kayak gini, agak susah kan untuk determine who will be the one who present the draft resolution. Mungkin what I can share to you, how to vote for this, first one, contribution in the process of DR making. So make sure if you really want to be the sponsor or presenter, you need to be the one who contributes that much in the process of DR making. Second, backroom negotiation, like what I've said before, backroom negotiation with other delegates. Misalnya dari 5 ini. Dari 5 ini berarti kalian butuh 3. Kalian butuh 3 votes. Yaudah, berarti kalian try to convince these 3 people to vote you. Biasanya, terus ya udah use voting. Only when you know it's towards your advantage. Misalnya kayak 5. Dari 5 ini mau cari 3. Mungkin yang biasa yang aku lakuin adalah, kalian mention 1 atau 2 nama yang menurut kalian deserve untuk presenter ini. Untuk mereka ngomong nama itu kan, mereka harus tahu kan kira-kira siapa. That is why I think it is wise if you do backroom negotiation atau do kind of backroom negotiation with other delegates, so somehow they will pick you, tapi kalian juga harus tahu, kalian harus nge-pick siapa, kayak gitu. Sampai sini ada yang mau ditanya? Atau nggak ada?
Aku mau nanya.
Boleh.
Aku mau nanya dong, Bro, kalau misalkan nih kayak kita tuh mau nego nih sama member dari anggota blok lain, terus kita mau convince mereka, kayak salah satu dari mereka nih, blok lain, buat ikut blok kita, karena mungkin blok kita kekurangan orang gitu. Atau enggak kayak kita ngerasa dia harusnya stance-nya di kita gitu. Jadi istilahnya pokoknya kita intinya mau narik. Itu tuh caranya gimana ya?
Oke, so I faced this waktu di ITB kalau nggak salah, waktu ITB Man. Jadi kayak dia salah stance, tapi dia agak keras orangnya. Jadi dia kayak bilang, oh nggak ada. Mungkin kayak mereka mungkin mau stick to the other block, mungkin kayak ya udah si blok sebelah tuh temen aku, atau blok sebelah tuh lebih akomodatif kayak gitu-gitu. Tapi waktu itu what I did that, aku lupa waktu ITB atau Parayangan, but what I did was like kayak ya udah you convince, misalnya kalau misalnya mereka salah stance, then you should give them clarification, misalnya stance, kasih tahu stance mereka tuh seharusnya gimana. I think gak cuma sampai bilang stance lo salah, tapi kalian harus juga provide reasons why stance salah. Misalnya the first one, misalnya Rusia tuh nggak seharusnya work sama ini, terus kalian bilang kok kalian work sama ini, nyatanya di dunia misalnya kayak nyatanya kalian sebenarnya berantem kayak gitu, atau provide another evidence that could support your argument that make he or she can nyadar kalau dia salah. Kalau misalnya dia kuat, menurut gue what you can do adalah kayak bilang kayaknya kalau misalnya, tapi di satu sisi kalau misalnya dia tetap kuat, kalian bilang juga, misalnya kan ada beberapa alasan kenapa dia mau, kalian juga harus nanya, kenapa sih kalian mau sama blok sebelah, nggak mau sama blok aku? Kalian harus tanya dulu. Misalnya dia bilang, di blok sini tuh, di blok sana tuh kayaknya aku nggak suka karena ada ini, ada itu. Mungkin kalian harus tahu juga biar kalian bisa ngejustify ke mereka. Tapi somehow kadang ada yang di blok sebelah karena emang udah duluan aja ditarik sama itu. Nah mungkin kalau untuk ada kalau pun mereka nggak the last resort ya, kalaupun mereka nggak bisa untuk pindah, at the very least mereka harus bisa cross signatories, karena beberapa MUN kayaknya nggak ada yang so far nggak ngelarang cross signatories. Mungkin ada beberapa orang yang nggak tahu gimana cross signatories, atau mereka bilang kayak, oh aku udah di blok ini, jadi aku nggak bisa cross signatories. Sebenarnya boleh-boleh aja. Jadi last resort kalau emang mereka nggak mau pindah, then ask them to be the signatories of your block. Is that clear?
Makasih, Prilly.
Iya, Tasya. Makasih. Oke, lanjut. Nah, ini ada beberapa do's and don'ts. First, for do's, build a personal connection. Biasanya build a personal connection, ya udah itu kayak basa-basi di awal-awal. Biasanya itu untuk voting delegates atau untuk delegates yang nggak terlalu gimana. Mereka suka ketika kita build personal connection. Ya, cukup dekat dengan mereka, they tend to follow you pas di committee session. Gitu. Second, cooperate with certain delegates. Nah, pas di awal kan tadi aku bilang mapping potential delegates that you want to work with. Nah, ketika kalian udah mapping, and then be body language and voice projection. Ketika kalian misalnya body language-nya yang kayak nggak meyakinkan atau voice projection kalian yang kurang keras, people kayaknya orang-orang nggak mau denger kan. Nah mungkin kalian juga harus tahu misalnya ketika kalian nego, misalnya semua duduk nih, ini kayak one of my coaches told me to do so. Misalnya kalian lagi duduk, kalau kalian mau kelihatan sebagai leader, kalian juga jangan duduk, tapi seenggaknya kalian kayak agak ngangkat badan dikit, biar kelihatan kalian nggak sejajar sama mereka. Terus misalnya kalau misalnya lagi berdiri semua, kayak aku itu susah jujur, karena aku pendek kan. Ketika semua orang berdiri, dan orang-orangnya itu tinggi, it was very hard for me to make people hear to me. Mungkin apa yang kalian bisa bikin adalah kalian agak munduran gitu, jadi kayak nggak, biar semua kelihatan. Kadang kan udah mepet, jadi make sure that everyone is visible gitu. Nah, terus ini misalnya kayak if you don't agree with certain delegate solutions, misalnya kayak, aduh ini solusinya udah nggak make sense nih, jangan banget kalian langsung bilang, sorry delegate, I don't like your solution. That's not diplomatic. Mungkin what you can do is, okay, try with a compliment. Misalnya kayak, okay, I think your solution is quite good. However, kalian kasih reasoning kalian. Misalnya, if that solution is not effective due to several reasons. Misalnya, it's not applicable in developing countries. Atau misalnya, I think it is not the mandate of WHO or UNHRC, or the mechanism are not feasible. Can you please tell us more, kayak gitu. Terus don'ts. Moving on to don'ts. First, raise voice. Somehow, sometimes kalau misalnya kita, kadang kan banyak orang yang ngomong, terus everyone try to speak. Mungkin kalian mau gain their attention, jangan terlalu raise your voice to the extent mereka kayak kalian kayak teriak yang sampai orang-orang kayak apaan sih? Mungkin kayak you can try to calm them by calling delegates, tapi jangan yang terlalu raise voice, karena somehow people will feel that you're annoying kalau terlalu raise voice. Mungkin kayak delegates, we should give everyone equal time to speak. Baru kalian try to be the moderator again, try to be accommodative by giving by leading the discussion. Okay, from delegate of ini, continue with delegate of ini and ini. Second, dictatorship or too coercive. Nah, dictatorship biasanya kan ada, if you are the leader, and then people kayak kalian cuma mau kalian nggak mau dengar orang lain, kayak okay, this is my blog, I can do whatever I want without hear anyone's opinion. Menurut gue it's not really polite. Kayak if you're the leader of the blog, make sure that everyone's being heard. Third, rude atau emotional. Kadang orang-orang kalau udah capek banget nego, mereka jadinya jadi kasar atau jadi kayak marah-marah karena udah capek banget kan. Nah, I think you should maintain this. Kalian harus maintain this with a good manner. Fourth, speaking with other language. Biasanya kalau speaking with another language, kalau misalnya kalian speak with another language, itu it happens misalnya di international MUN. Waktu itu aku di Euroman, ada blog aku, tiba-tiba dia udah ngomong bahasa Yunani atau Israel, ya kan aku nggak ngerti. I think it's not really good. Misalnya juga kalau kalian di MUN, tiba-tiba kalian seblok sama orang Indonesia, another people will see that, kok dia ngomongin apa sih? Mungkin mereka nggak necessarily ngomongin tentang kamu, tapi bisa jadi aja tentang kamu kan. Jadi to prevent any misunderstanding, don't use your own language. Please do use English. 5. Make a decision without an agreement. Misalnya kalian a blog leader, you should make a decision. Make a decision ya, bukan discussion. Make a decision without an agreement. Kalian sebagai leader, if you want to make a decision, I think you should tell your blog. Misalnya kayak kalian mau merge draft resolution, atau kalian mau narik orang ini, narik orang itu yang mungkin agak problematic, mungkin kalian harus kasih tahu ke blog kalian, at least mereka tahu kalian ngapain. Biar misalnya kalian mau merge DR, tiba-tiba, lah kok ini udah merge DR, kok kita nggak tahu, nanti orang-orang akan ngerasa, kamu nggak bilang mereka, they will feel that you're not a good leader. Terus 6, bad mouthing. Nah, misalnya even if you don't like the leader of another blog, or you don't like the other blog, please don't do bad mouthing. Misalnya bad mouthing kayak kamu bilang kayak, the leader is very ini. Terus make that. Jadinya kayak ngejelek-jelekin orang itu. I think it's not really appropriate. That's not appropriate. That is very inappropriate. Kalau misalnya kalian bad mouthing. Nah, terus ada ke-7, backstabbing. Backstabbing ini bisa terjadi sebagai for. Misalnya jangan pernah kalian, contohnya kalian mau work di draft resolution, terus ternyata kalian gara-gara nggak mau sama delegate ini, kalian ada punya draft resolution sendiri, atau misalnya kayak ini udah mau ke draft resolution, tiba-tiba kalian hapus nama dia sebagai sponsor terus ganti nama kalian, atau enggak kayak hapus clause dia. I think that will be unpolite aja kalau kayak gitu. Last, use probation card. Biasanya untuk interdel, karena ya mungkin interdel misalnya kayak ya udah lo ngemis kayak please, I'm in my probation period. If I don't get these awards, my coach will probate me. I think it's not good kalau kalian pakai kayak gitu. If you deserve that, and then you have to work hard to gain that. Anjay. Okay, ini and trick. Another tips and trick will be, first, you need to have the mentality as a leader and winner. Kalau kalian punya this mentality, I believe you can be the leader. If you don't have this, you won't be able to lead people. And prepare flow of the debate before coming to the conference, so that you will know, misalnya kayak, okay, first unmoderated caucus, my objective is to gather people. Second unmoderated caucus, my objective is to hear their opinions, misalnya kayak gitu. But bear in mind, prepare not only one flow of the debate, but prepare like 2 or 3 if you have time. Third will be pay attention to some delegate substance. Like what I've said before, Yoda paid to their substance through their speeches, so that you will be easier to approach them during the unmoderated caucus. 4, I think ini penting, yaitu small things matter. Misalnya smile, say sorry, say thanks, compliments them, or repeat the last word, kayak physical touch. Terus don't cut. Misalnya kayak kalian kayak, oh iya, I understand about your solution. You did great, high five, kayak gitu-gitu. I think untuk beberapa delegate yang floating, it will make them kayak ngerasa, oh my god, this person is very good. I love to work with him or her, kayak gitu. Nah, terus misalnya ini, yang terakhir adalah don't cut. Even when you feel that their solution is not good, they're talking too much, don't cut, kayak cut yang kan appropriate. Mungkin kalian bisa cut, tapi kalian cutnya yang kayak, okay, delegates, yang proper, okay, delegates due to time constraint, atau untuk beberapa alasan lain, we should give equal time for everyone to speak. Nah, last, show a sense to direct, but in a proper and subtle manner. Jadi mungkin ada beberapa orang yang kayak everyone is trying to pretend, everyone is pretending to be the leader. Tapi mungkin untuk beberapa orang ada yang nggak natural aja. Jadi kesannya kayak kepaksa banget sih, kayak maksa banget dia. So jadi kayak pretend that you're a leader tapi yang natural. So ini another quote will be a good person even when someone treats you badly. Typo. Okay. Nah, udah. Any questions? Anything you wanna know? That's all. Ada yang mau nanya nggak?
Ada tuh, observer. Kak Prilly, I have a question. Do you think that this negotiation can be applied to every council? Or only to specific councils only? Thank you.
Okay, so I think, jadi kan ini MUN aku biasanya di low political council. Kalau yang ada mungkin yang nggak tahu low political and high pol, mungkin low political yang ngebahas isu humanitarian, sementara kalau yang high pol itu lebih ke security and so on so forth. Jadi based on my experience, sebenarnya kalau di low political council, it can be applied. Kayak negotiation is one of kalau di low political council. However, what I've heard from my friends, somehow kalau di another council, misalnya mungkin security, seeing that you only have 15 people, kadang tuh kita cukup dengan tahu country stance dan beberapa hal, mungkin you don't need that much about negotiation. It doesn't mean that you don't need, but kayak negotiation is not that important to misalnya beberapa council. Jadi I think negotiation can be applied to every council, nggak cuman ke maksudnya kayak negotiation can be applied to every council. Seeing that I haven't joined another high pol council, mungkin yang aku pernah join itu cuman Hell Hall was, I forgot, DISEC or SPECPOL. It can be considered as high pol kan? It can be considered as high pol. It can be considered as high pol. Walaupun itu high pol, itu pun aku itu pun aku kan sempat negotiation juga, misalnya ada nego di dalamnya. Jadi I think it can be applied to every council. Another question.
Another question maybe?
So if you still have any questions and you don't want to ask here, probably you can contact me through line, Prilly. Ini ada. Ada yang mau ditanya nggak? Halo. Kalau enggak, ya udah.
Lagi. Aku deh, Pril, aku deh.
Ya Kak, kenapa?
How to be good at small talks. Kayak gimana cara basa-basi sih, cara basa-basi dengan baik dan benar dan strategis.
Oke.
Biasanya
sebenarnya itu nggak ada. Sebenarnya itu nggak ada special formula. Makanya tadi aku sempat bilang kan, kayak small things matter. Small things matter adalah dengan kalian kayak ya udah bring the good vibes, misalnya ya udah senyum terus kayak halo, apa kabar, tanya-tanya aja. Biasanya basic questions yang kalau misalnya aku mau bukan nego sih ini, misalnya kayak di pre-conference cuma kayak halo, kamu dari mana? Oh iya, aku dari sini nih. Oh, kamu ini udah MUN keberapa? Basa-basi. Mungkin gak langsung nanya, what's your country? Kayak ngerasa itu kayak ambis banget kan. Jadi mungkin lebih kayak, halo, kamu dari mana? Kamu dari mana? Nama kamu siapa? Mungkin try to build that personal connection. Kayak what I did, kayak gitu-gitu aja sih Kak sebenarnya. Kayak bukan pepetin juga, tapi kayak make them like they're not your they're not your rivals, tapi lebih kayak make them as your friends. Soalnya ketika mereka ngerasa kita udah temenan, they tend to hear us.